Welcome to Planting Joy Gardens. It is a cold day in January, but this is actually the perfect time to plan for my garden season. So I'm actually out here today planning for my 2025 gardening season. I start my planning with a grocery list. I like to provide 100% of my leafy green vegetables and 100% of my herbs. Next, I decide if I have enough growing space. During the warm season, I look at the spacing of full developed plants. During the cold season, I focus in on where my infrastructure is. Where are the trees? Where is the fencing? Where are the places where I will get shadows in my garden? Next, I consider plant placements. I try to keep in mind what areas of my garden are in full sun, what are part sun, and where are the shadiest spots. And I plant the plants according to their sun needs and also according to how much space they need in maturity. So here is an example of my layout for this upcoming 2025 year. Notice that I noted where my ornamentals, which are perennial, and where my open beds or my raised planters are. Next, I'm going to note my last frost and my first frost. This will help me to decide how long of a growing season I have and which plants I can actually grow. There are certain plants I cannot grow because I'm limited to like 180 growing days. So loofahs are out of the question for me. Next, I will take an inventory of my seeds. I will order seeds or I will start seedlings. So I'm doing a quick inventory of what seeds I have on hand. I want to make sure that the first possible planting day, that I can take advantage of that first possible planting day and that I'm not ordering seeds at the last minute. So January is the perfect time. So I have the flowers, some lavender, alyssum, zinnia, some of my herbs. I don't have all of the herbs I need. Right now, I just have basil seeds and a bunch of onions. I do have perennial herbs that are dormant in my garden. But if you've been with me for a while, you know that my goal is to grow 100% of my leafy green vegetables. So as you can see, I have plenty of leafy green vegetable seeds that include spinach, which chard, kale, Chinese cabbages, mustards, arugula, lettuce, corn salad, and so much more. I have an excessive amount of seeds for leafy green vegetables because that's my goal, 100% of my leafy green vegetables. And so far during 2024, I was successful. Now for 2025, I want to be able to grow 100% of my green beans. So I do have some seeds on hand. I have all Blue Lake and some Cherokee wax beans. But I just want to make sure that I have bean booster and probably a few more packets of green bean seeds. I do want to do pole beans this year. In the past, I've always done bush beans, but I'm going to establish space for pole beans. So other things that I tend to have in my garden and that are on my grocery list are my carrots and of course some tomatoes. Now I grow cherry tomatoes in my zone. They're highly productive, they're disease resistant, and I can do a lot with cherry tomatoes. You get hundreds and thousands of cherry tomatoes, whereas some of the other tomatoes, you might get two, three, four, maybe five tomatoes on a determinate plant. So I just find that going with indeterminate cherry tomatoes to be the best thing for me. I can do so much with them. I do have other things that I will plant if space allows. Things like beets. They're not my favorite, but they work well in a lot of the dishes I make. So my goal is just to make sure that I have all of the seeds I will need on hand for that first available planting date. I will, of course, order additional seeds for things that I like and for things that may have space, but the priority for a kitchen garden is to grow the things that you will actually eat and to then eat them when they grow. I hope this is helpful. Once again, I place the plants on my plan according to their light needs and size. Now, this may sound obvious, but you have to have a plan on how you're going to water your garden before you plant. Thank you for joining me in the garden. Happy growing. God, in His grace, freely makes us right in His sight. Romans 3, verse 24.